What's going on, world? Welcome to the Power Circle. My name is Avery. Just want to kind of go back and touch up on some things and kind of get us to where we're at now. Kind of introduce myself. Here I'm on a 3-day journey, and as far as this podcast, so a couple days in. Kind of briefly explain myself. As a matter of fact, you can go back and look and kind of catch up. But we kind of want to identify what America is and kind of spring to what the purpose is for humanity and society moving forward. What does it look like in 20 years, 25 years? I know how things are changing now and how fast they are changing now. There's really no telling. So I feel like that more than ever, we're able to take past history and kind of create our own future. I mean, that's basically what it is. And if you really kind of open up yourself, the onion that you are made of, kind of identify who you are, you kind of question what's your purpose, and then if you're a religious person or if you've been sparked by religion, I know for me, for example, it all started with me at a Christian Baptist church, First Baptist West in Lawton, Oklahoma. I was saved at a young age, and so excuse me. And so I followed close with the Lord through middle school and the first part of high school. I followed everything. I read the Bible, and then I went to church every Sunday, Wednesday. Went to what do you call this, mission trips and stuff like that. And so big up to First Baptist West. They were a big influence on my moral compass. And so as that started, and with that being said, I'm able to apply some of that knowledge as far as Jesus Christ and what you learn about him in that word and the example that he set. You kind of compare yourself, especially if that's your moral compass. That's something you can compare yourself to. As I got older, I kind of questioned, he's white, and, he's Middle Eastern, and, this is where the story is taking place. And so you kind of question things and you fall away from that religion part of things. But for the most part, like I said, it influenced me. And as I've grown and kind of become self-aware to things, I kind of find what I can identify myself to as far as a moral compass. And Jesus Christ was it. And so peeling back that onion of who you are as a person, you'll find, what is my purpose, and how do I reach that purpose? And here's the examples of my life. And some of them are good and some of them are bad. But for the most part, that overall moral compass was Jesus Christ. And so we're trying to find out what America looks like on that notion, or if that's something that's on a lot of Americans' minds even. And if not, is that something that we should start looking forward to doing? Because if you take a look at what's facing the United States and the world as a whole, are difficult times in terms of places we've never been with natural events happening. We've never been to a place where glaciers are melting and sea levels are rising. I mean, there's been times to where it's been a trend up and down with weather and El Nino and whatnot. And this is just an example. There's never really been a time to where we can say, yeah, this is climate change and this is what's going to happen, because we've experienced it. We can only look at the past and they said that it's been recorded before that, there's been climate change and, just a bunch of different things, and like we go through life without really keeping focus on the main prize and what's at stake. Like we work, and I mentioned this before in a previous podcast, we wake up every day, we go to bed every night, and we hustle, we grind, and you have kids, and I think at some point we forgot, like, for what? What do we do all of that for? There's not another species in the planet that's doing the same, or outside of our planet that's doing the same thing we're doing. So we've got to be doing something unique. Or is there other species outside of our planet that are doing the same things that we're doing? The only way that we'll know is if we explore into that nature. That is a normal curiosity to have. There's nothing wrong with having the curiosity of what else is out there. And are you trying to set a trend or an example for what else is out there? They obviously like what we're doing because they haven't destroyed us. And I'm speaking because I believe there is something out there. So I'm talking from that perspective. I firmly, and I don't know if I can I feel like I know, but I can't furnish any proof to you other than any spiritual practices that I have that kind of gives me the proof that I need. But with that being said, I think that it's a serious question, and that's where we've got away from as a humanity. Like, what really is it? You know what I mean? Like, we've got 9 planets that we can completely reference to, and only kind of sit back and look like, is that what we look like? You know, like, as if there's someone else out there like that, they're exploring us just like we explore the other 9 planets around us. So think about that. And some of these 9 planets, you know, they're saying they're not habitable at all. Mars, there's a lot of there's a lot of misrepresented reports on life being there and buildings being there. So you really got to dig on what's going on with Mars. They're doing a real good job of keeping a tight lid on it. But there's scientists out there that, you know, they talk big and heavy on what they're finding. And so that kind of gives you a little bit more, I guess, proof that there is a lot more to it than what we know. I mean, they're talking, and I'm talking 5-6 years ago about there's water there. And then, 3 years ago, they're telling us that there's a big ice, those time frames in between, they're finding more stuff. So whatever you want to put to it as far as it being a conspiracy or not, it's there. It's a physical body. And whether it's life or not, we have to start looking like, oh, hold up, pump the brakes. If those 9 planets aren't habitable, could we end up like those 9 planets? And just to sit back and be like, probably not. How much do we care about legacy if we just not tripping on something like that? Like, we need to stay prepared and always be prepared. And that's one thing I know, and I've learned throughout this roller coaster of my life here lately from the streets, is stay prepared and be prepared. Don't have to get prepared. And I'm learning that now in a professional life. And that it's more than ever, but I'm able to reference back to initially learning that from the streets. Big up to the streets. It's a love-hate relationship there, man. It's such a love-hate relationship to the streets. And that's off topic, but getting back to it, we're here in the Power Circle to discuss these difficult, what I think could be really easy to talk about, but they're difficult to bring about right now. And I think this shit is so cool. And I think we're behind on how cool this shit really is. Like, the baby boomers are like, oh, you guys are so spoiled, it's technology and this and that. And I can only take a metaphysical look into that. Why is that? They grinded their asses off, and really that's what it's really all about. I'm not going to have my 2 children, my 3 boys, grow up to be just like Avery Fennell. That's a huge mistake to the universe. I need them to take it up a notch. I need them to elevate our last name. I need them to be bossmen, carriers of legacy. And that's what we need. That's what we need to want, and speaking from my culture needs to want that. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's already there. You know what I mean? I think if you're listening right now, it's something that what I believe is a memory that's already there. Just hearing it reminds you. Hear what I said. It's a memory that's already there. I'm just here to remind you. It's already in us. It's in you. So, I completely got off topic again, and it's easy to do that whenever this is new to me, man, and I'm finally able to outlet it. I think it's good for this, what I really now solely hard to believe in as a mental condition of the bipolar, the manic state, man. I think sometimes those situations that I had, I covered them up with drugs, and now that I'm real coming to being as sober as I've ever been in my life, to be honest with you, I'm able to recognize those true mental conditions that I was self-medicating. So self-medicating is a real deal, and bipolarism is a real deal. So shouts out to my counselor at rehab. She was true, because I was like, you tripping? I ain't got no damn bipolar. A high mind, man. A high mind. And man, and shouts out to my people out there struggling, man. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. Keep grinding. My boy Jay Harris, man, he told me, bro, you gotta grind. You can't just start to want to do something new that your body ain't used to, and expect it to just be a gravy train. It's a grind. You're gonna want to keep doing the same shit. Your body gonna want to keep doing the same shit. Pardon my French. Let's get back on topic, man. Yeah, the Power Circle is that place. We want to have that conversation. We want to do it in a respectful manner. My wife and I, we were discussing, how I'm just kind of sectioning things down to, and this is, she don't want it to be as if it's a movement or a conversation about segregation. And whenever I'm talking specifically about empowering people of the same color as myself, Black, that's not the point I'm wanting to make, or that's not what I'm intentionally trying to do, as far as corner and forget about the rest of the country that I live in. I mean, I'm Black, and there's other Black people that live in a country that's called the United States of America, that has so much dead blood and soil and spirit in our soil, and other people live here too. So we're able to set a standard on what we expect also. While having those same expectations for others, we need to have them for ourselves. And that's for another topic. This is a podcast for something in particular, and that I've completely got off topic for, and where I was getting to. But so what I'm speaking for, and what I feel like we should call for, is special attention to student athletes. I know that it's ratcheting up now, and you can look around and do your research and see how big of an industry and how big space of an industry that is, and as far as the training and the tournaments and what's behind all that. And that's America to me. And white, Black, Latino, Chinese, it doesn't matter. At some point in your life, you have been signed up to be competitive in some fashion. And to me, that is a sport. And so to be able to talk from points of my perspective, being a basketball and football player, my culture, that is an asset of ours. And so I feel like it's an important role on maintaining and continuing the dominance of the United States of America. Dominance. Got to dominate. And so just as you're growing, and as I've been growing and on this journey, I feel like it's been a build up to, what is my purpose? I know the things I need to change with the process of self identification. I know what I need to change. Let's apply these changes. In the meantime, while that work is going on, how does my family look? Now I'm at a part to where I'm sober enough to take a look at my family, and I've been spending so much time with my family that, the community is ready for us. So we're stepping out in the community. I've been coaching basketball, and now my culture needs me, and if I set down from those goals right now, there's culture, nation, the world, and the universe. That's my goals right now. How do I affect that in a positive way, being a Black man in America? So right now we're on culture, and I feel like basketball and football are sports that our DNA and genetics have been made to be prepared to manifest into the world. That's a blessing. And we need to make sure, unlike myself, don't take situations of having a body that was natural and a gift that was natural, not for granted. You know, if I work on that for myself, not to take my talents and my abilities for granted, and I apply that and teach that to my kids, I need to uplift my culture. I need to uplift the rest of the people that are around me. By coaching, I do that with multiple cultures, but mainly now at this point in my life, I think I can center more energy towards my specific colored culture. I've learned a lot from a lot of nice, lovely people that have taken me into their homes that were not the same color as me. They've kept me off the streets. You know, they kept me full. You know, it was hard. You know, I can now understand, like, how do you discipline a big old black kid, these rich white people, thinking, how do you discipline this hard-headed ass? And I get that. I don't blame anything. If anything, I'm sorry for not holding up to the investment that you made in me. You know, and you know who I'm talking to. But that's just exactly what it is. And I'm sure there's a lot of athletes out there of the Black nation that can talk about how there was a white family or an off-colored family that took you in, that wanted to build you up to what they thought and saw that you were capable of. And that's what happened with me, and I dropped the ball. But now that I'm an adult, man, I made these mistakes and experimented with drugs and seeing what else there was. There's no brainer. Grow inside. What's wrong with you, boy? What's wrong with your bloodline, boy? What kind of corrections can you make? You know what I mean? I can't help but to take that competitive, athletic nature to the field, or not to the field of life. If we want to apply it as a game, there's a lot of people out there like this, man. If you look at the data for the incarceration rates, I can guarantee you most of those cats in there was ballers. And shouts out to you. Right now, where I'm from, Martin, Oklahoma, you can look in the streets, Southside Country Club. Legends. Wasted it away. We missed our point. Now it's time to grind. I got so many great ideas I'm ready to release to the world. But I think that's how we build up America and maintain greatness. Bossmanship. That's what we do. This is a melting pot. I can't forget that. Yeah, we came from where we came from. There's a debate about that. But you know what? This is America. There's a lot of different people and cultures here. We're melting pot. So we must lead the world. And we grind. Man, let this touch you. If you know who I am, this is probably a surprise to you. But this is how I've always felt. If you're new to who I am, let's grind. E.T., shouts out to you. It'll be long. Come on, baby. Listen. I've been coaching for a long time, and it's hard for me not to apply this podcast to my coaching methods. If we're going to do it, we're going to do it, right? There's so many ways that we can look at our lives and ask, why now? Why am I going to start grinding now? There's so many people's ears that is going to touch this, and you're going to step back and like, this fool's a trip. And then you're going to hear me say this. Why not? You heard me say it now. Why not? This is art. Whatever you done is what you done. Ain't nobody's business. This is a world of sin. Get it how you get it. But why not, man? Make art out of it. That's what I've chosen to do. All my shitty mistakes, they clean now. I got on brand new underwear. I'm feeling myself though, man. I don't know. I call or trying to channel energy like this, and it's just too much that I can handle. But man, please tell me somebody out there feels the same way. My brother's locked down. Dad was never around. Just moms. Little brother was quiet as hell. Out on the streets. I'm not the only one. That's America. Yeah, you're prosperous. Yeah, you don't have to worry about issues of another race. You don't have to worry about what they go through. But it happens. You will be judged by what you do about it. Just listen. Let's feel each other. Let me touch you. I'm not dying without trying. I'm not taking the L. My legacy is important to me more than ever. I've made way too many mistakes. My back's against the wall. So I'm throwing shots right now. And if anybody's, and these are shots, I'm talking about dripping tears. And if you can feel me, look up. Let's grind. Because I'm telling you, man, I'm telling you, when shit hits the fan, you ain't going to be ready. You're going to be like, oh, shit. You know, patting around on your pockets. Like, where my keys at? Ah, shit. Busting left. Ain't nobody tripping about what you do, what going on in your closet. It ain't nobody's business. Evolution is a work in progress. If you take in the mirror, you can see what I'm saying. All it takes is a choice. Change your mind. That's it. I've changed my mind. I still got a closet though. Ain't none of your business. I just know drugs didn't do anything for me. You know what I mean? Being out in the streets, being in the limelight, being loud, being noticed, that didn't do anything for me. That's not what I wanted to be noticed by. And then my family, my wife. Ugh, my wife. Beautiful. And she's just like, this fool is, I don't even know him anymore. I met so many great people, man. So many great people. There's not enough brave people. There's not enough stupid brave people to get out and really just talk about it, man. There's no perfect person on this planet. There's so many choices to choose from. I'm going to take my choices. You take yours, baby. Don't walk too far away from the switch. Don't get too far out in the dark. I almost did, man. Don't get stuck. And I'm talking to you. Come on back. Turn on that switch. And then get back out there if that's what you're trying to do. At one point, you're going to feel like a hypocrite. You might have to dissect what I just said, but that's just what it is. You wake up after you dead, people. What it's going to be like for you. You got so many beautiful things around you to choose from. This is this is a big old shopping mart, this world we live in. And think about the athlete. People gather around the TV. They go spend $120, $700 for a ticket. Shoes, shirts. It's universal language, man. I'm telling you, this is a peace treaty. Sports is a peace treaty to any planet that we venture to where there's aliens. Big up to LeBron James and them, Mars or whatever that. Listen, I thought I was the only one thinking crazy enough, but athletes they cosmonauts. Athletes are cosmonauts. They tough, smart, strong, attractive. Nobody, no alien trying to get put up on by somebody ugly and goofy. Maybe if they smart and work in the office, us middle class people, we got to grind. We got to stand out. Can't be overlooked. LLC. Be on the lookout for that. Ain't nobody average. I don't care what your job is, because you run into people. That's how you stand out. That's how you're not overlooked. Is how you treat people. Your raise is how you feel. You start feeling better, that shit starts being normal. Then you getting money raises. That's America. Treating people with respect. That's hard though, because if somebody piss you off, oh nah, fuck respect. It's on. Hold my earrings on my bottle, bruh. I'm challenging you. Man. I love this country, man. You can call it whatever you want, but this is where my roots is. This is where my roots are at. They found me from out the mud in America. I came from the mud in America. My bloodline is here in America. Your bloodline is here in America. Ain't no reason to hate in America if you live in here. There ain't no reason to hate on a different race because they got shit popping. Grind. Let's grind. Let's put everything out on the table. Here, you get this, and I got this, and you got this. We all got the same thing. Now let's see who gets there first. All right, I'm up here. Let me look down. Oh shoot, he almost fell. Let me grab him. I get back up there. Oh, here he come. Good shit, boy. Keep grinding. I'm still going. Good shit, boy. And then they finally up, and about time. Let's go. First to the top. We the first to the top in America, man. Catch on, baby. Feel me with this. Let me touch you. Man, let me touch you. Y'all know where, if you know me, you know I'm not coming from nowhere with hate. I'm on my spiritual goon mood right now. I'm trying to touch somebody, man. I'm not trying to change your mind. Go out there and do what you do. But don't get too far from the switch. But the athlete in America, man, listen, that's going to be our gold mine, always be our gold mine. That's how we make sure our employment is tight in the future. That's how we make sure that our academics is tight in the future, smarter, intelligent, more people in the future. If we can figure out an infrastructure to keep the athletic nature in America thriving and always maintaining, there's no way that we're going to be behind on exploration. Right now, we're a little behind. We got some grinders. We got a little Brian balling. And some. I mean, he's not the only one, but there's some gifted kids in the world, man, that's really going to turn some heads. But we can only anticipate that on the trend. So right now, we really don't know what the athlete's going to look like. But however long it took from LeBron to get to what we believe right now is Zion, or however long it took to get from Michael Jordan to LeBron, it's going to be that time frame. What is it going to look like? And then from there, there's going to be another time frame. There's going to be some beasts. I'm telling y'all. I'm telling you. And we're going to start really gravitating to the idea that these people are incredible. These are people that are models, citizen of our planet. How do we get them out into enter? There's people there. Let's send them some boom. USA team. Go here. Take this with. Sign this back. Give this to them. Nice to meet you. This is our planet. How long y'all been living here? That's nice. That's what it's going to look like. Unless we want it to look darker, because we keep painting a picture of it being a completely dark scenario. But the athletes they're gonna be ready. I mean, that's just what it is. They're trained. Not me sitting at a desk. I go hit the gym, but I'm not trained like a seasoned athlete. My mind's not ready to think like theirs are. And we barely really just tapped into what we can train them to do. Some of these coaches aren't really opening them up to their capacity. It's a metaphysical thing. You got to be able to let me touch you, or you got to allow, and it's words and frequencies, music and lights, and there's so much behind activating certain cells in the human body. So much behind that, but that stuff is real. I promise you. And the more that we talk about it, or if you listen far enough into some of the stuff that I'm saying on the podcast, you'll do your own research and you'll start seeing it. There's no pushback on this. You can cut off someone's internet. You can flush out the videos. You can assassinate. You do whatever you want to try to shut someone up. But it's still gonna happen. It's a process. There's still so much to do in America. There's still so much ways to build in America, because right now you have to anticipate all these other variables. And there's a bunch of them. And now we have a better time more than ever to really rewrite what kind of species we want to be. And to me, it's going to start with the athlete, because it's something that a great percentage of the population of our world has done. Especially here in America. They have participated in some form or fashion in their life. We have to tribe up, pay close attention to those with special talents, and those with special talents have to be leaders. We have to be able to teach in ways to where they're able to lead those that aren't as blessed physically. But you can talk to them and shine a different angle for them to be blessed or to be able to shine with effort. And effort overshines any kind of talent. I'll be the first to tell you that. But this podcast is really wanting me to get into your brain and kind of try to swing you into a shift. Because you have a relative, a son, daughter, brother, cousin, someone that's performing, and our lives depend on how well they do. Their lives depend on how well they do. Humanity depends on how well they do. Short talks in the power circle, man. Not going to go more than 40 minutes, but you're going to be in it. Let me touch you. Just think about it. Have enough courage to stand back where you at. And even if you could do this physically, it's most best to do it mentally. But try and stand back. Stop what you're doing. Look left, look right, and look right in the middle in front of you, and start thinking about what you want to do. Shit takes time. All you have to do is make a choice and know that you're going to, at some point, get to where you want to be. You got to know where your choices are. There's practices in between. There's things that can get you there faster. Meditation. Other stuff. People medicate to get there faster. If you're fighting sobriety, man, listen, grind. Just make a choice. Feel bad every time that you use. Be strong about it. Know you're going to feel bad. That's your way out. But we in America, we grind. Look, from the puppy kitty cat to the president. You got to pay attention to your community. Where you at in your community? What kind of athletes are in there? Is he running around with the wrong crowd? Hey, little homie, listen, this is where you headed. This is what it looked like. Oh, you don't believe me? Let me get on the phone with my partner. Stay focused. Get off the streets, young man. Get off the streets. Man, I wish I would have heard that one more time. I only heard it once, though. Some of us, and then I'm talking in the black culture, we really need to see where the money really is. It's not on little homie want to run the streets. Here the bag is. It's not on that. Get him off the streets. We need to start thinking big ideas. Boom. Franchise. Boom. Boom. Outlet. Boom. Boom. Multimedia production company. Boom. Hand in everything. A group. Athletes, we training them. Boom. We're putting them in and out of the league. Boom. They're retired. Boom. They own a ship to explore Mars. Boom. That's from ground level. You have that kind of potential. Young hustler, young grinder, a boss grinder. That's the potential there's potential. I'm telling you. Shouts out to my boy Crushaw. Listen, I looked up to Crushaw. That whole clique, not Wall, they were musicians. People that are in positions out in the streets or in communities, they have influence too. And little words can influence a whole community. Little Johnny, if I would have said something to Little Johnny positive, Little Johnny would have made this choice. But I didn't say shit to Little Johnny. I ain't even tell him how good he was. I didn't tell him to get out the streets. So Little Johnny smoked my mom. Or Little Johnny smoked the school teacher. Shifted the whole community in a different direction. Just because I didn't say nothing. And I can tell you good practice for that. Anytime you see trash in your path, pick it up. Throw it in the trash. Wash your hands off. This is your planet too. Boss up. That's trash. That's weighing down that part of the earth. And you're going to walk by it. Pick it up. I told you, I'm sorry. Don't take it the wrong kind of way. It's all from love. I have to talk to myself like that. That's how I remind myself to do good. It might work. Try it. But we owe Mama Earth. We owe her. Culturally speaking, to the black culture, we owe her. We owe Mama. Daddy's watching us just walk over trash. Look, the things are trash. Pick that up. Come on. And it starts, man. We can coach our athletes into being people like that just pick that trash moment up. What does America look like? What does society look like at the jump on a different planet? We can't go to a different planet the same people. However long it took us to get to the point where we're headed here on planet Earth, if we start at another planet the same way, it's going to cut that. I'm telling you, it's going to happen faster. Don't make no sense. Let me touch you. Please don't take this out of any kind of hate or trying to cap. I'm in this in America with we all are subject to the random, which isn't really random. Most of it, I believe, become reason, but we're all subject to the end of that, whatever it is. Like, our part matters so much, man. And it's such a small thing, and it's so easy to overlook, and I get it. So if you don't want to be reminded of that, this is not that podcast for you. But I got some things coming up, man. Try to get back to y'all tomorrow and go out through the rest of the week. Next week is a big day for me. But stay tuned. I appreciate you for your ears. The music that you hear, if you hear it, please, producers, musicians, don't sue me. Don't sue me. Don't let them sue me, y'all. But look, a movement is a movement. This is just a talk. Thank you for listening to the Power Circle.